types to give now and help avoid delays in life-saving medical care for patients this summer. More donations are needed to replenish the blood supply and help address the extraordinary blood needs of hospitals and patients right now. Be a hero to a patient in need. Use the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make an appointment to help save lives.
If you are struggling to afford internet service for your household, there's a new government program that may be able to help. It's called the Affordable Connectivity Program, and it provides up to a $30 monthly discount to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/ACP, or call toll-free at 877-384-2575. That's 877-384-2575.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place and instead of what you came for, you found a phone number, 1-800-662-HELP? What would you do? Would you stop and give it some thought? Before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/know-the-risks.
Time is the one thing that we want more of. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey. They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
The following program, Collaboration Radio, is sponsored by Collaboration, and to the extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
It's that time of the week. You are here on Collaboration Radio at Chicago's WCPT 820 AM. Well, this is Dr. Marcus Robinson. I'm holding down the fort for my team. I got one down under the weather and one out there making art in the neighborhoods out of my neighborhood at the beautiful park there. You know, just with our young people out there doing some great work. They've got this amazing spoken word event going on at Hamilton Park in Inglewood. So if you're out there, please head on out there and check them out. And there's lots of free food and drink and whatnot out there for family fun, and you'll see some great stuff from our kids with the light. So yes, this is Collaboration Radio. We're so excited to be here with you. We're brought to you by way of gifts from the Joseph and Bessie Feinberg Family Foundation and AV Chicago, Chicago's featured AV rental group and exhibition group. So we're so happy that they're able to sponsor us, and people just like you. They're able to go to collaboraction.org and sign up to be a Collabor activist for as little as $1 a month. But we could use your support, $5 a month, $10 a month, or any amount that you'd like to pledge to help us keep great artistic works being done by people of color, by indigenous folk, by white brothers and sisters, our Latinx brothers and sisters. We're constantly in the neighborhoods making work by us, for us, with us. So if you've got it in your heart to share, that we would gratefully receive that. We like to call ourselves a social change company that uses theater, performance, production, and now radio to cultivate dialogue and a sense of empathy amongst us through that dialogue, and then hopefully finding some ways for us to collaborate on actions that we can take to improve the quality of our lives, improve the quality of the lives we share together, a kind of social wellness. So we're interested in our own personal wellness and in our social wellness, and then we'll go even further to say societal wellness, as we try to deal with the issues of oppression writ large. Name your flavor. They've got all different kinds of words for it out there, but you know what I'm talking about, when somebody's left out, pushed down, pushed aside, marginalized, somehow left behind, because we believe in a world where we can all bring our best selves to the table, to our best selves to the opportunity, where no one's left behind, based on a sense of inclusion, a sharing of power that's equitable, and a deep sense of empathy and compassion that can be felt in the sense of belonging. So yes, so welcome. So I'm here alone today, so you're going to hear my voice a lot. So you're going to get a little soliloquy in here, and then I'm going to call my producer in every now and then to give me something to push against and bounce against. But the way we normally do stuff here at Collaboration is that we present a piece of art and allow you, the audience, to interact with that art, and then have a dialogue about the context of that art, based on where you're at about that issue. So we're going to follow that format today, where I got 3 or 4 pieces of spoken word art for you to react to, and then once we take a listen to that presentation, then we'll open up the phones. We'll open up the phones at 773-763-9278. And if you're online checking us out from afar, because I know lots of you folks are out there in the world doing your thing, you can just log online at the Facebook page, wherever you see us streaming here, and type your questions in there. I'll see them. I'll respond to them. And again, and if that doesn't work, you can come send up some smoke signals. We're liable to see those too. So without further ado, I want to put in this first piece here by a poet we had on just at the inaugural show, Geronimo. Such a moving piece. I thought I'd reprise it here for us to check in, tune in, and connect.
I see a daily downtown in front of the daily. Most walk fast when they walk past, and I must admit, so do I. Quickly shifting my gaze as I catch her eye. Excuse me, sir, can you spare some change? Well, God bless you. I said, excuse me, sir, can you spare some change? Well, God bless you. As I quickly walk past, coming up with mischievous logic as why I shouldn't give her the 75 cents that I'm gripping in my pocket. Assumptions with no knowledge. And I'm like, she out here daily. Clearly she making a profit. But the next day is the same. Excuse me, sir, can you spare some? Next day. Excuse me, sir, can you spare some? Next day. Excuse me, sir, can you spare some? Next day. Excuse me, sir, can you spare to change? Well, God bless you. What did you say? I said, can you spare to change? Will God bless you? I know the homeless are a dime a dozen, but more than a quarter of the time, it's mental illness that got us struggling. And yes, sometimes substance abuse is a factor, but when your home is a Home Depot box, ain't nothing whacker than living under whacker. So of course it gets tense with me. When one garbage truck can destroy a tent city, you don't think a bum could get bummed? Well, here's a penny for your thoughts, a bucket of water and a squeegee for your car, some shoes so you can take a mile in my walk. This world twirl ain't my fault. I'm just a victim of circumstance, circumventing certain plans that gave people of our skin a raw deal, dating to the 80s crack era to the 94 crime bill. So can you spare to change? Will God bless you? Will you take heed to these words or act as if they're nothing special? Wasn't Harry Potter birthed in the back of a car being used as a home? Wasn't Medea created at a point when Tyler had no place to go? We might live savage, but you too busy focusing on our fabric to see our magic. Even Kevin Hart had to help a homeless Tiffany Haddish. Just because my hair's matted doesn't change the fact that I would rather sleep on a mattress. So can you spare to change and break these chains? I see a daily downtown in front of the daily. And now with a pocket full of coins, I exchange change for change. I'm doing the work. At least I guess so.
Yes, Geronimo, can you spare some change? Can you spare a moment for some social change? That's my question to you right now. So if you'd like to call in, please call in at 773-763-9278 or log on at WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Radio. You can catch us on Facebook. But here we go. So this business of homelessness. We endure homelessness in the United States as a choice. We endure homelessness in the United States as a choice our society makes to look the other way when one or more of us fall through the cracks. Now, that's not 100% of all of us, but it is enough of us that would allow us to not prepare ourselves, our society, in a way to address those issues such that it doesn't even have to be that way. You know, at $20 trillion a year, $20 trillion a year income, gross national product for the United States of America, with billions and billions and billions and billions of profits made and shared across the United States of America. People who live without and do without and are down and out, like homelessness, we endure them as a choice. We could make different choices. And I'm not saying, give away the everything everybody needs, in some socialistic, communistic kind of way. I'm saying just be smart about it. We could be smart capitalists about it. We could be smart free market people about it. Don't you know that there's a business opportunity out there when there's tens of thousands of homes that need to be built? Tens of thousands in California, tens of thousands in Texas, tens of thousands in New York, tens of thousands of homes, that need to be built. We are short homes. And in fact, a bunch of what you're experiencing right now in terms of the inflation that you might be experiencing if you're middle class, if you've got the degrees and you've got the opportunities to actually purchase a home, you're now fussing about the price of homes because there are too few new homes in stock. And that has put a squeeze on all the other homes that are out there, second homes. So prices rise. So the price inflation you're experiencing is us not taking care of business as good capitalists. Like, go on out there, make your profit. Go on out there and make your profit, but let's build some homes out here. And the more homes we build, that'll stabilize the price of homes, maybe even bring down the price of homes, so that working class folk who are out there striking these days, striking because it's, it's a 10,000 to 1 multiple on on what they get paid versus what the CEOs of the corporations who lead those organizations get paid. Now, I'm not mad at the meritocracy. I'm just saying it's more merit to be going around than the 1/10, 2/10, or 8/10 of 1% that get that 10,000 multiple. You know what I'm saying, folks? I know you're listening to me out there. I'm not talking to myself, even though I'm the only one in the room. I know you're listening. I know you're feeling me. And if you are, place a note in the box. Send me a text. Give us a call. But it's all about that homelessness thing. So I want to tell you an idea. So if you go online and you Google Institute for Caring, instituteforcaring.org, you'll see a group of people have come together who cobbled together a great idea that might be helpful to us. Solving homelessness once and for all throughout the United States of America, if you just could grok the idea and take advantage of it. And it's all free market capitalism. Imagine this. So even here in the city of Chicago or in the state of Illinois, let's just say we've got our own 10,000 homeless families out there. Let's just say that were true. And let's just say that there was a finite number out there. Let's call it $4 billion. I'm not even going to say it's a lot of money, but let's just call it $4 billion. That it takes $4 billion of money to be distributed across a wide range of collective impact activities that help those families get housed and then help those families do what they need in order to thrive in the housing, and then move on to creating their own housing, such that because their economic capabilities have improved over the longitude. Let's say that was a $4 billion deal. Now, you and I wouldn't want the government to tax us $4 billion for that. I know my conservative folks would say, heck no, we don't want that. On the other hand, but we do need this service, and that there's $4 billion that could be made by private organizations doing the business to take care of this thing we call homelessness once and for all. And let's say that we're using our strategy, it's all 100% free market money. Here's how it's done. We work with the governor and work with the feds to create a tax credit, an incentive tax credit, that for every dollar an Illinois individual or organization entity would want to give to the solving the homelessness in Illinois, it would give you back $1.02 credit off of your taxes for about 10% of your tax liability. Let's say that were true, that you could lay off 10% of your tax liability this year and get a 2% return on it while ending homelessness here in Illinois. If that were true, how many dollars do you want to give to the homelessness caring organization to solve this problem? You see, there are ways of doing it if we only had the will. There are ways to incent my own largesse to say, Marcus, you made enough money for yourself. Well, make a little more by helping someone who's got none. And what better deal than that for a capitalist? All right, I'm off my soapbox. That was instituteforcaring.org. Instituteforcaring.org. This is another one of those organizations that's affiliated with, with Dr. Marcus Robinson. I'm co-founder of the Institute and the co-author of the book, Caring for Democracy, The American Fix. We've got solutions to ending poverty once and for all in the United States of America. We could end generational poverty. Talk about reparations. I got the reparations for 100% of every family in the United States of America that has had to endure the American experiment thus far. But before we get there, I'm going to run this next piece for you from one of our youngsters, I believe. This voice is good. Comes from our community that is, he's BIPOC, so he's got all that going for him, and differently abled than the rest of us. This is one who's has to beat the odds against life-limiting disease just to be able to stand and deliver. Hear his voice.
One time. I said Chicago! All right.
Yeah. This is a little different clip, but I think you're gonna love this. This is my man Phenom.
You may know me from my music. You may know me from my acting.
Yeah.
You may know me from my merchandise. You may know me from my basketball videos. Or you probably don't even know who the hell I am and you just want me to get straight to the point.
Write his name down.
Well, my name is Abad Vikas, a.k.a. Shorty A, and you already know what the vibe is. Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am.
I think both clips are 12 minutes.
Wait, did I introduce myself? Hold on. We gonna do something. All right, so I said my name is Shorty A. So when I say Shorty, you guys say A as an apple, all right? Easy and simple, all right? Let's do this. Shorty.
Hey.
Shorty.
Hey.
Shorty.
Hey.
Shorty.
Hey.
Hey. Let's go. On November 22nd, 2001 was the day I was born. The doctors told my parents I wasn't going to be able to walk. I wasn't going to be able to talk. I wasn't going to be able to hear. And they even said I had less than 6 months. 19 years later, look at me now. Doing exactly what the doctors told my parents I wasn't going to be able to do. I was born with a rare condition called sacroigenesis, which means that I don't have a tailbone. Growing up with a disability, it's really tough. Having teachers, staff, students, peers, family members say something about you. You can't even walk. You're too slow. You're too small. Can you not hear me? You're not going to be anything in life. I've heard it before. You know, I've always been the type of person to always keep my emotions to myself. I never wanted to share it with my parents. The reason being is because I never wanted them to be worried about me during work. Until one day. It was 5th grade. I remember sitting on the normal desk with my peers. My teacher said, "Okay, class, pull out your math notebook." I go through my backpack, trying to find my red math notebook. And I found an envelope. It had my name on it in blue, me thinking, "Aw, somebody wrote me a love letter." But I opened the envelope. It had a big pair of black scissors and a note that said 2 words. Kill yourself. I remember coming home that day, not being able to hold in my emotions. Seeing my mom walking through the back door, I started crying. My mom asking me, "What's wrong? Are you okay? What happened?" I showed her the envelope, and we both started crying. After that whole situation, like any typical mom would do, is put you in a program. And that's exactly what my mom did. She put me in a theater program. I'm in the car. Why do I have to go? I don't even want to go. Just take me back home. But man, oh man. As soon as I performed my very first show, I fell in love with acting. I knew it was going to be a passion for me. I wanted to continue acting, so that's what I did. 2 years later, I played as Frida Kahlo. Yes, I played as Frida Kahlo. And I think it was because of my unibrow, but hey, it is what it is. I played as the legend. Then it was 8th grade. I was applying to the top art schools. The #1 Shy Arts and the 2nd Sen High School. I got into both, But I decided to go with Sun High School because I wanted to help them win, achieve, and succeed. And man, oh man, the rest is history. Sophomore year of high school, I came out with my very first song called God is Good. It was me coming out to the world and telling everyone how I was going through suicidal thoughts. And my mom, of course, got emotional, started asking me, why you never told me? And the reason being is because I never wanted you to be worried about me during work. Then it was junior year of high school. It was my third time competing for the August Wilson monologue competition. I came in first place here in Chicago and in third place in New York City. Man, oh man, was that fun. I was getting so much more opportunities. I made my own merchandise, I was getting interviews, I made another song, I signed with an agency. So many opportunities came into my way. But the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because not many people like me get attention. Not many people like me have that mentality to say anything is possible. People like me are scared to go out in the world. People like me are insecure. Let's do this. Raise your hand if you love the Chicago Bulls. Raise your hand. Okay. Well, shout out to Zach LaVine for winning gold in Tokyo in the Olympics. Man, oh man. Yeah, give it up for Zach LaVine. Now let's do this. Raise your hand or yell out if you know what place did the USA men's wheelchair basketball get in the Paralympics. Anyone? Gold! They won gold in the Paralympics. They won gold. But the reason why we don't know is because SportsCenter, ESPN, Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, nobody posted about them when they won. Nobody. We don't get that much of attention. We don't. People like me are afraid to go out in the world because of the negativity. I've been through 23 surgeries, putting my life on the line. I've been through suicidal thoughts. I've been through people doubting me, kicking me, beating me up. I've been through everything. And look at where I am today. Look where I am today. It's tough. It's tough to be in a position like this. But if you're going through a disability or if you're going through something mentally or physically, just know that anything is possible. Your disability doesn't define you. That's why I made this merchandise, to remind people like me that anything is possible and your disability doesn't define you. And don't worry about the negativity. I use that negativity as a motivation now. I honestly don't know how much time I have left on this earth. Just because of my medical condition and all of that. I've been through so many obstacles, but I know I'm going to overcome those obstacles in the future. But I want people to remember me for my legacy. I want people to continue my legacy. I wrote this poem called Suicidal Thoughts. It's my first time performing it, so here we go. I was gonna kill myself. Nobody knew how I felt. I was all by myself. I was trying to say my final farewell. No, I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted to die. I lay down and I cried, but God was by my side. Time is ticking. I don't know how long I have to live. I'm still struggling. I'm crying when I get to the crib. I'm crying on the inside. I'm dying on the inside. Take my pain all away. I don't really want to stay. I don't want to feel this pain. I don't want to deal with this hate. I'm confessing my feelings about death. I was trying to take my final breath. See, I think about suicide every morning. When I open my eyes, my smile is just my disguise. I don't want to be like the other guys. I don't want to be alive. People look and think I'm all right. Look deep inside my pain will come to sight. I feel this is truly end of my fight. I'm tired of my life. I'm trying not to complain. There's a lot of things messing with my brain, trying to speak on me just to take away all of this pain. I still deal with hurt, try to commit suicide, but that didn't work. But I'm thanking God for all the blessings, but I'm still dealing with these feelings. When I was a young kid, they were trying to destroy my dreams. But now I'm at the top trying to succeed. My disability doesn't define me, but they still hating on me. Why are you hating on me when I'm just another normal teen? I hope I was able to motivate you guys tonight. Yes. If you're going through anything, just remember that anything is possible and your disability doesn't define you. Good night, Chicago. Shorty A.R.
All right, Shorty A, Abed really brought it home for us. Covered a lot of great territory here. I'm just going to use this talk to break it down with you. So Abed is talking about disability, right? So everybody comes in the world. We don't know what we get. We get what we get. You get a body, you get a set of parents, you get a location on the planet, and you get a circumstance and set of circumstances and conditions. And so, and you get your ethnicity and identity out of that. So all of that kind of stuff was working against Abed. All right, so he comes into the world of the United States of America in this American experiment where we've got caste oppression masquerading as class, and we got those with high power, high caste, and then we got the folks that are low caste. And you know that this is a world that was made for able-bodied people. No, people with disabilities are secondary to our considerations as to how we create this world, at best. Now, don't be disabled and be in a visible minority group here in the United States of America. Boom, that's two. Boom, that's two. And then to be young. So this young man shares the one characteristic with 100% of all youth in America, and that is the number two. The two cause of death for our young people, 8 years to 24, is suicide. Oh my goodness. Number one overall is gun violence. Usually at the, you know how it goes down. It depends on your caste and class. That might be a mass shooting. But if you're outcast or low casted in this society, that could be kind of a one-on-one shooting, personalized shooting that happens on the street. But same causal relationship. Same causal relationship. And then we get underneath all of that, we go to mental health, right? Which is he's going after. Mental health is the common denominator between all of that. And then when we start to look at, now listen to me one more second. Now, you look at our indigenous people, our indigenous young people, the number one cause of death for 8 to 23-year-olds is substance abuse, which is a behavioral health, mental health issue, which is the same as the gun violence issue. Can you see that? It's cutting across. And then all kids, indigenous, white, black, brown, rich, poor, number two cause of death, suicide. And it's that way because we choose it that way. We live in a country that has the mind power, the mind share. We got all the PhDs in the world. We got all the time in the world, all the money in the world. We got tons and tons of medical resources in the world. But you know what we don't do? We don't deal with the spirit and mental, emotional part of us the way we deal with the physical part of us. You know, what if mass shootings was a cancer, a curable cancer, right? Or what if what you might call black on black crime in the inner city, how some people talk about it? What if that was an epidemic of sorts, and all we needed was a vaccine for that? You know, the way we would tackle that with science, and then how that would get handled in a matter of months, not generations. In a matter of months, our kids are harmed by drugs and are harmed by self-harm because we choose it as a society that way, because there's better ways of dealing with this stuff. And then he also pointed to, you know, both these talks were pointed at class at the level of having no money or very little money, and again, we live in a society that could eliminate poverty and the diseases of what I call despair, which have to do with mental health issues and gun violence issues and substance abuse issues and suicide ideations. These are all diseases of despair. We could solve the vast majority of that simply by solving the poverty issues in America. Where in the United States of America, we could eliminate chronic extreme poverty forever. Go to my site, instituteforcaring.org, and you will read about our strategies that will allow you to be a part of a solution that could end generational poverty in the United States in one generation. Here's how it's done. You know that FICA tax that they take out of your paycheck every week, every month, and your employer has to put a little bit of that away too. But turns out that's about $5,000 a year. And for $5,000 a year, if you work your whole life, you might get back on Social Security, depending on where you're. If you're a low income earner, like under $50,000 a year, you'd be hard pressed to get back $600 or $800 a month out of that lifetime of investment, and that's making sure everybody's poor into the next generation. So make this one change: federal tax credits to the individual that will put $2,500 away into their own IRA account and not touch it until they're 65. And give that business owner that's got to pay the other side of that $2,500, they put it in your account that you own, that's your IRA account that stays with you, but you can't touch it till you're 65. That account goes with you from job to job to job. Let's just say I never made more than $30 an hour my entire career, which is I'd be hard pressed to get $800 to $1,000 a month from Social Security right now doing that scheme. But if you follow this schema, starting now, when that person retires at 65, that $5,000 a year that got in that IRA, averaging about say 6 or 8% a year, it's worth $1 million that they own. Now, just imagine that was a two-family household, or both family, mom and dad were both out earning because that's what it takes to live, right? Now, when they both turn 65, now they got $2 million. That's theirs. They can live on that. Maybe they're like my family. You know, everybody retires and they're dead by 75. Because that happens, right? You know it happens. And then that whatever we put into the Social Security stuff, that just stays in the pot. With this new scenario, using the caring model, that goes to the family. So let's say they spend down $1 million over that 10 years. Well, then now that $1 million stays in the family. Yeah, that's what's going on. We're talking about progressive ideas that transform the way we take care of ourselves using very conservative, fiscally sound strategies that allow us to reduce the size of government while increasing the greater good, what I would call social wellness. So anyway, so that's what I got for you today. If you got a call in coming in, I'd love to hear from somebody. That'd be great to hear from somebody. If we got a caller, I'll take them. Hello, who am I talking with?
Hi, my name is Brian.
Hey, Brian, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate the company.
Yeah, I enjoy listening to your show and your topics, and I listen to a lot of the hosts on WCPT. And, I like to take the argument outside of racial issues and point out the fact that, our leading politicians 40 years ago got this idea it would be great to engage in free trade with the world. And in my opinion, essentially what they did is they devalued the average American worker. Because corporate America looks at people as just workers. They don't care where you live. You're just a worker. And if they can move their factory from the west side of Chicago to Vietnam and pay them $2 a day, they're going to do it.
True.
And our politicians had set up the laws that allowed them to do it.
Yes.
Because they were bribed by corporate America.
Yes.
And then we had a lot of stupid Americans that believed Bill Clinton, the worst Democratic president of the last century, and he went right along with the plan. He thought that was a good idea.
Yes.
We'd have American products flowing around the world. I remember George W. Bush saying that, we'll have, 95% of our customers outside the United States, which was a big lie because
Right.
what corporate America did is they moved the factory to Vietnam and then they brought the products back duty-free in the United States, and corporate America and Wall Street had made out like bandits.
Exactly.
That's what's been going on.
Exactly.
It's the globalist corporate Democrats that sold out America's working class is the problem. And see, the people that control the Democratic Party, they're not ready to have that come to Jesus meeting and be honest about what's gone on. That's why Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump. Everybody knows Donald Trump is a sick psychopath, but a lot of working class white Americans cannot stand the team Clinton and what they did to America.
Understood. That's exactly how you.
And then another
couple more. Take another minute to finish up. Take another minute to finish up.
Okay. And then a lot of people really don't realize, I'm in the world history. I played up politics since I was a very young kid because I had first cousins getting drafted into the military and going off to Vietnam.
Okay.
So I had a strong incentive to pay attention to what was going on with our government and around the world.
Yes.
And just to wrap it up, since the end of World War II, 5,000 million people have been added to the planet. That's 5 billion people have been added to the world.
Yes. We're
now
clocking about 9 billion.
I don't believe that planet Earth can sustain unlimited numbers of people. People have to get it in their heads that, there is a limit to life. You cannot just do whatever you want and expect the government to take care of you.
True.
In a lot of ways, you're responsible for yourselves. We need to motivate children in school to understand that. And so many people are just oblivious to the facts of life and to the reality of what's occurring right now. And then we could lay on the fact of global warming and what that's going to do to the worldwide economy.
Man, Brian, thank you for all of that. That was a lot of food for thought. I appreciate your historical perspectives and whatnot. While I don't have to fully agree with every little thing you say, I certainly embrace the spirit of what you're talking about because your analysis is not far from my own, and because I don't have the privilege of not acknowledging my racialized identity, I keep it in the context so that you and I can see how much we have in common across this dimension of racialized identity, because race isn't real, but racialized identity is. So, but what you're talking about is what started this country. This country started on cheap labor. Labor was so cheap it was free. It was called slavery. And when they couldn't get enough of that, they bought it by 5-year increments at the lowest price possible from the most desperate people possible in Europe to come over and work for them for free. Okay, so I get it about the globalizations and the cabals and all that kind of stuff, and why a working class white man who would have been Democrat would look at what happened with Bill Clinton and name anybody else you want, because it's about the politics of America that's at question here. Yeah. Lots of stupid, bad stuff that we would definitely want back differently, a do-over, happily happened under that. So, but let me just use your commentary to also suggest to you that system of needing cheap labor, that's a caste system where the powerful and the rich controlled everything and meted out the direction to political structures, institutional structures, to ensure that they could continue continue growing their wealth, with the promise of we will grow jobs for the populace, for the people. Well, we fought a war with the bloodiest war in history over that because cheap labor was just too cheap if it was free. Now, know how we did that? We did that by making it illegal to have cheap labor unless you're the federal government. We just took the right away from the public space and just retained it to government. So you're talking to a progressive that has that's great disdain for the American government in the way that you call it out. You call it party-wise. I call it caste-wise, because I am still downcast even though I'm no longer outcast as a slave. I'm the American descendant of slave that is low caste and that has been structurally boxed in by the same things you're talking about. But you can now say, I can see how I got boxed in by this structural, institutional, global cabal. They did it to white guys, white women, right? You're right. It's that you got the flu with that. We got straight up COVID without the vaccine with that. Particularly if you're an indigenous person. So I'm saying all of that to say, I got you, I feel you. We've got 10 more minutes to go, and it looks like, is that the phones? Oh, yeah. Well, we'll go lightning round. So we got like 10 minutes. I'm going to give 30 seconds to each caller, and I try not to say much about what you say, but I want to give you a chance to say something, hop in here and do violence to my ideas or join me. But either way, let's have a respectful conversation.
All right, we have Steve from the Gold Coast next.
Gold Coast. Come on, Steve.
Hello.
Please say something, Steve.
Yes, so I want to make a couple of points. One, I would tend to disagree somewhat with the previous caller. Yes, international global free trade has been blamed for many of the ills that average people and working class and poor people are facing in America.
Yep.
But the fact is that the vast majority of jobs that have been lost in those sectors were lost to automation. They didn't go to China. They didn't go to Mexico. And this idea that in the late 20th century, early 21st century, you were just going to be able to create a wall, an economic wall around America and protect all of our jobs, it just didn't make much sense. The reality was that for a period of about 40 years after the Second World War, because China, of course, was a communist state. Japan was devastated. Europe was devastated. We had, for a couple of generations, the capacity to provide average people with a great standard of living because there was nowhere else to go to manufacture things. Then the world adjusted, and all of a sudden people thought that, well, okay, fine, I didn't pay attention in high school, and someone still owes me a great job with benefits and retirement and everything.
Gotcha.
That's not reality.
Gotcha. I'm going to make some room for some other callers, but your point is well taken. Automation definitely did it. Hey, there's a new A in the world. It ain't automation, baby. It's AI, and self-driving this and da-da-da-da-da. We're talking about millions of jobs moving away for automation, so we should be talking about how we do this caring thing so that we can make sure everybody's got what they need come retirement-wise. Come on now, work with me. Next caller.
All right, we have Ed from Hoffman Estates.
Hey, how's it going?
Excellent. Thanks for calling, Ed.
My question to you is, what's your opinion on universal basic income? Andrew Yang proposed it, $1,000 checks everybody a month. Do you think that would serve to pull people out of poverty or to keep them locked into a cycle of poverty?
Okay, great. Here's the thing. The number one thing that will keep you impoverished is poor nutrition, poor social support services, and poor access to education and opportunities. Now, we do know this. Income correlates highly with great outcomes in modern society. That's that way. The more money you make, the more likely you are to thrive. So we do have to fix that, and there are ways of dealing with that, and I would encourage you to keep calling and talking. I'm going to let the next caller come on so we get them in before we have to run, but thank you for that call, Ed. Next person up.
All right, we are rounding up today's show with Roosevelt.
Hello?
Yes, Roosevelt, please say some words to us.
Okay, thank you for taking my call. I'm going to be real brief. The idea that Reagan was a great president, not true.
True.
Because he ripped the solar panels off the White House when Jimmy Carter was there. Jimmy Carter, to me, was a way better president. He saw the future.
Agreed. I agree.
Okay. So Iran-Contra is the product of all these people that are coming from Central America and South America, his involvement. He didn't declare war. However, he stuck his nose in those
right. In those people's spaces. Listen, if you poke a hornet's nest, you shouldn't cry about getting stung.
Yeah, so the idea that he was a great president, not true. However, you have expressways, you have airports, whatever in his name. You have nothing under Jimmy Carter. And Jimmy Carter, when he left office, he went to Louisiana to build houses. He took a hammer and worked.
Understood.
And,
Understood. I could do a whole show on Jimmy Carter, and I just want to lift him up right now because he's in his last hours on the planet, last months and years on the planet for sure, and so we want to lift him up as one of the greatest presidents of all time and an exemplar of what it means to be human, an exemplar of to care for something other than one's own wealth and self. So, yes, absolutely. Thank you for these words coming in from, that was Hoffman Estates?
He's from Chicago.
Chicago. Okay, great. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate your good words. Is that it? That's all for us today?
Yep.
Listen, I'm so happy that you folks decided to keep me company today. Please come back next week. We're gonna put the outro music on and let the news get played up, and y'all stay informed. This is WCPT 820 AM Collaboration Radio. Marcus Robinson signing off.